We'll talk about the Howard Beach race attack. Man, this is like... I mean, obviously, we're seeing it a little differently.
Yeah, this is
than
really... This story's going to build. You're going to see a bunch of activists come out.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're going to... Reverend Al's going to poke his head in this one. And they're all going to want something. And the truth of the matter is, this isn't as it appears.
All right, we're back with the Opie and Anthony program. Let's get right into it. Big story today in New York City.
Front page of the New York Daily News.
Front page of Newsday, Daily News.
The Post didn't put it on the front page.
Oh, the Post. Yeah, they're too busy with Brad and Angelina. Amazing new photos of them. That's so much more important than this Howard Beach race attack. Well, they're calling it a race attack.
They're calling it a race attack. I don't know. This is going to start one of these feeding frenzies.
Well, let's get
the news. All these activists.
Why don't we start with the news story?
Very good. Good way.
Makes it easy just to bring everyone aboard, and then we'll get into it here.
Police say 3 young black men had ventured into Howard Beach to steal a luxury car. At one point, a man drew even with them in a Cadillac Escalade.
All right, we'll break this down.
All right. All right, I was on my way home. I took a shortcut. All right, so 3 black guys walking around. They're looking to steal a car.
In a very, very white neighborhood.
Yeah, Howard Beach, by the way.
Probably the whitest neighborhood in the New York area, except for that, Greenwich and all that.
It's mob area. It's mob area. It's a bunch of Italians. It's a very Italian area. You see a lot of houses there that are, in any other neighborhood, they'd look like normal houses. Maybe a split level, something like that. But they deck them out with marble columns and lions on the lawn and a lot of granite and marble all over the house, and they build these stone walls around like a compound, and you see a lot of security cameras on the fences and gates, things like that. And I'm not talking big houses, just a normal house like you see in the neighborhood, but instead of a fence, like a little picket fence, you see these walls going up around
they're
these
normal houses on the outside.
Yeah.
Wait till you get inside some of these
I'm sure
places.
there's shoe boxes full of money in the attic.
Oh, my God.
And it's a very, very Italian mob neighborhood. A lot of the old-time mobsters used to live there.
Gotti was from there, right?
Gotti took care of that neighborhood.
That's where he lives.
Yeah, it was, and it's still the same way.
Yep.
Really is. And 3 black guys walking around, they're looking to steal a car. They venture into Howard Beach, which is... for a black guy, this is as stupid as a white guy in the middle of the night going into South Central or uptown into Harlem and trying to do something illegal. Trying to maybe steal a car, a bicycle, sling drugs, anything. If a white guy goes into one of these neighborhoods, Detroit, somewhere in Detroit, and tries to do something illegal, they are going to get their ass handed to them. That's just the way it is. And that's what happened here.
By the way, can I say the media? Got to give credit where it's due. The way they mentioned the fact that they were trying to rob cars right in that first sentence.
Thank God. Yeah, well.
They didn't milk it. At least she said that, which is nice to see. That at least some kind of honesty is why they were there.
Well, this is being presented as a race crime. When Bloomberg was talking about it, never mentioned the fact that they were in there to steal a car.
Of course he didn't.
The police commissioner gets on and starts talking about how this will not be tolerated. They're playing this up like this guy was in town with the Meals on Wheels or helping old people. They're selling goddamn Boy Scout cookies. Do Boy Scouts sell cookies?
I don't know what they do. Well, I can't get past those shorts.
It would be the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, Girl Scouts.
Why don't we just play the whole story here?
Yeah.
All right.
Police say 3 young black men had ventured into Howard Beach to steal a luxury car. At one point, a man drew even with them in a Cadillac Escalade. There was a stare down, and the man drove off. But 15 minutes later, he returned with 2 friends and a baseball bat. 22-year-old Glenn Moore and his friends ran, but Moore stumbled.
Uh-oh.
Police say 19-year-old Nicholas Minucci caught Moore on the ground and beat him with the bat, fracturing his skull.
Mr. Minucci has been charged with with assault in the first degree as a hate crime. That calls for a minimum sentence under the law of 8 years.
Police caught Minucci 10 hours after the attack, driving the Escalade through the neighborhood.
Inside the car was a metal bat and the sneakers that had been taken from Glenn Moore.
Police say Minucci admits beating Moore but denies hitting him on the head. Minucci also gave police the names of the two men with him, 22-year-old Anthony Ench and an associate called Frankie. Minucci says that Ench shouted racial slurs during the attack, and that brings back memories of a 1986 attack on 3 black men by a gang of white Howard Beach teenagers.
So there you have it.
The 1986 attack, I fucking
go, Jimmy,
can't tell you how bad I just want to bite these people in the face. Those black guys in 86 were on their way home from work.
Yep.
Well, they were working guys. They were just regular guys who were attacked.
That was a racially motivated hate crime.
That was a hate crime.
Right.
These were just guys. These guys were there to steal a car.
Sorry, you're committing a crime in the wrong fucking neighborhood.
Tough shit.
That's what happens. If you're going to do that, you pay the consequences. That's the consequence, that you're going to go into a town that doesn't tolerate that shit. Just like I said before, you go into a black neighborhood and you try to commit a crime there and you get your ass handed to you, they're not going to cordially call you sir. They're going to think of every way to call you white motherfucker and beat the shit out of you.
And the media will never report that as a hate crime.
Of course not.
Ever.
And they'll never serve a mandatory 8 years for a hate crime if it's the other way around. Anytime this is reversed, anytime it's reversed, where it's white on black crime, it is a hate crime. It is always labeled a hate crime.
And it's funny how Newsday, that's what Newsday puts. Meanwhile, their ex-editor is trying to jerk off to baby raping videos, and they can't put that on the front page yesterday, but they have to put this crap on the front page? Howard, this is
why not list his good points?
Yeah, you're right. Howard, this is the Daily News. Howard Beach race attack. Glenn Moore suffered a fractured skull and other injuries, and they show him when he was in his Army uniform.
I know. They put him in the, a picture of him with his Army uniform on.
Black man beaten with bat. Mayor vows Swiss justice.
Swiss justice.
Yes, they hide all the funds and then don't report it or give it back to the Jews, even when the war's over.
Justice was with plenty of holes in it.
Mayor vows swift justice. Nothing about the fact that these guys were there stealing a car, man. That's what they were there for. Tough shit.
Sorry.
You got what you deserved.
And if the fucking guy comes out of the car and, as he was quoted as saying, what did he say?
Something like, hey, what's
up, nigger?
Yeah, because the guy, they'd stared each other down.
Yeah, he said that and started beating the crap out of him. Obviously it would be a nice world if you could beat someone's head in without actually calling his race out. But that's how it goes when you're caving someone's skull in, whether you're white, black, Asian, or anything. I don't think as you're beating somebody up, you're thinking about insulting them with some racial epithets.
Can I ask somebody, please, because I know I attack liberals all the time, and this mentality is not a conservative mentality. Can a liberal, please call up and just explain how, on your side of the issue on this one, you justify this type of a reaction?
Mm-hmm.
Please. I'll listen. I won't be an ass. I would like to hear it. Maybe there's a valid reason.
Yeah.
But whenever something like this happens, how can you stress the race of the guy who got beat up when he was there to rob a car?
Yeah.
Too fucking bad.
They just have a really They just have a really good neighborhood watch program.
That's it. A very robust neighborhood watch.
And and this is my favorite part right here. This woman who is apparently his the mother. I don't know. She's so fat you can't tell what gender she is. She looks like Fred Berry. A Fred Berry reference. Now, police identified one of the... okay, that was just Frankie. Now, although Moore, and this is the guy that got beat up, although Moore has a prior arrest for stealing a car, his mother insists he carried a hammer and other tools with him because he planned to hang his Air Jordan sneakers on the wall as decorations.
Another delusional mother.
We have lost our fucking minds in society.
He carries tools around to hang his Air Jordans on the wall.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was.
Yeah.
He's got a prior car stealing conviction. His friends are there to steal a car.
Yeah.
But he was going to hang his sneakers on the wall as a souvenir, which he should be beaten with a bat for anyway if he thinks that's a good way to decorate.
If we read a story today about 3 white guys that went uptown here in New York and tried to commit a crime and got their ass handed to them, we would absolutely be talking about what assholes these guys were to be trying this.
Yep.
Because it's stupid and you're going to get killed. And that's what happened. And in this case, I'm saying these 3 black guys are complete assholes for going to Howard Beach to try to steal a car because you know what's going to happen to you.
Anybody who's not from that neighborhood.
Right.
If you're in that neighborhood, they're going to notice you. Look, that's what they do.
They're
used to fucking making sure outsiders don't sneak in and creep around and infiltrate.
They call it Little Boston.
This guy, I'm sorry, he deserved what he got. You got cracked with a bat. You shouldn't have been in that neighborhood stealing cars.
Yep.
People don't want to live in that environment. Tough shit.
And now all these activists are going to come out, and they will not even mention the fact that these 3 were out to steal a car. They will not mention that. It's going to be this poor black guy was beaten because of the color of his skin, blah, blah, blah.
Do we have the audio of the mayor? Because that audio is pretty outrageous, actually. What he's saying about this whole thing.
How come it wasn't a hate crime that they were going into a white neighborhood to steal cars?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, liberals have lost your fucking minds.
Yep.
You have lost your minds.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Brian in Raleigh. Brian, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Brian?
I think you may have answered my question, but I'm just wondering, the way you told it, how did they know that they were there to steal cars? Did they have a fucking sign on their head, or what did they have with them?
No, apparently the guys fessed up to it to the cops. They admitted.
Here's what he's saying. How did the guys with the bats know? See, they're calling it a hate crime because they didn't catch them stealing a car. Probably because they were just standing there. They're not from that neighborhood, and they're standing there at 3 o'clock in the morning, so you know they're up to no good.
Yeah.
What are you going to do in Howard Beach at 3 in the morning?
And he said to him, he goes, "This is what you get when you try to rob white boys."
Yeah.
And he started beating the crap out of him. Later on, the guys fessed up to the fact that they were in there to steal a car. And, if they're in Howard Beach... Dude, if you see a white guy in a black neighborhood, he's there to buy drugs. You know it. That's why when they get the shit beaten out of him and the cops come, they go, "What were you doing here?" "Oh, I'm visiting a friend. I'm doing that." And the cop looks and goes, "Bullshit, you're buying drugs." When you get black guys in Howard Beach at that hour, they're there to commit some type of crime. Do I sound racist here? Perhaps. Is it the absolute truth? Yes, it is. They're not there doing the work of the Lord.
Why is it that people are so afraid to tie race into bad behavior? The political correctness is revolting. Nobody minds race being tied in when it's for a positive reason.
Yep.
Nobody minds celebrating all black accomplishments or all Italian accomplishments. Nobody minds celebrating all of those and lumping everybody into one pot. He's Italian, we're Italian too, we feel good.
Yeah.
But if you mention a crime or bad things, whether it's mob on the Italians or this for black, people get all upset and call you a racist. Fucking sickening.
And I'm not even talking about just black guys being in Howard Beach like that. I'm talking about white guys that go to buy drugs uptown. They absolutely are there to buy drugs. They're not there visiting friends, and everyone knows what they're doing. You could point that out. You could point that out to people and not be accused of anything. Say, this white guy, he's driving up there to buy drugs. But the second you go, this black guy, he's absolutely here to steal something. Well, you can't say that.
Right.
Why? Just like the white guy's up there to buy drugs, you absolutely know the black guy's down here to do something.
And how many times, and cops know this, how many times you see white guys riding around a black neighborhood, you know what they're doing, and you pull them and go, what the fuck are you doing around here? When's the last time in the paper you heard white kids complaining, "We're going to stop because we're white"? You don't hear it because they know they got caught doing something.
I'm in the wrong neighborhood, according to the cop here. I'm not allowed to drive here, and I was pulled over just because I'm white in a black neighborhood. He assumed I was buying drugs. What were you doing? Buying drugs? Wait, you're up there buying drugs.
Well, let's go.
But you never hear the outrage from them going, "Well, they're profiling me because I was white driving around. I was pulled over."
All right, let's go to the phones. They've exploded. Get some people in here. Sue in Jersey, what's up?
Yeah, Mardi Gras. Bring up what you guys saw in Mardi Gras.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those were hate crimes going on.
Right.
That was party revelers. Those are people that were partying at Mardi Gras, walking down the sidewalk, being punched in the face by black guys. We watched this happen. They let black people walk by, didn't even look at them. And the second white people walked by, they would grab the girls' tits, grab them between the legs, and punch the boyfriends in the face. And this went on and on and on until the cops were alerted to it and broke it up and arrested, I think, one guy that was there. And is that guy, do you absolutely think he's charged with a hate crime?
Of course not.
Of course he wasn't. What was he doing? He was punching only white people in the face. That's a hate crime. You don't see it. The double standard with this is so infuriating. Infuriating. You see it happen every day, and then you got to look at the front page of the paper and see race attack. It's not a race attack. It's not a race attack. Should the guy have been more courteous with his language? Perhaps it would have kept him out of trouble. Somebody on instant feedback said if he didn't say nigger, the guy would be a hero.
Absolutely.
He chased guys out of his town that was stealing cars. But because he uses bad language, now it's a hate crime.
That's the insanity of political correct. If
Right.
you are politically correct, I'm going to make a blanket statement. You're inherently a liar. You're an elitist. You're an intellectual elitist. You're condescending. If you're politically correct, you're a liar. You're not honest, man.
Right.
All right, we got some clips from the mayor.
A young man was badly beaten, and it appears that the attack was racially motivated.
You are an ass.
Hate crimes are something that we're not going to let happen in this city. This is a city that has pulled together and learned its lesson back in 1986.
What you mean is hate crimes that are white people beating up black people.
Won't be tolerated.
Won't be tolerated. That hate crime. Not the other way around. That's just a crime. For some reason, that's just a crime. Oh, well, it happens. He robbed them. That happens. He beat him up. Raped. That just happens.
It's what they do. That's the arrogance.
Right.
That's the subtle racism that people who are politically correct have, because it's almost like, well, it's expected blacks will act that way. You know, well, that's just what they do. They're children.
That's what those people are like.
Don't hold them to the same level of accountability.
That's what they say, right.
White people do it. Well, we're thinking creatures. Believe me, that's what that underlying shit is.
That's more racist than
of
racist.
Of course.
That is more racist than just being overtly racist.
You always hold the adults to a tougher standard than you do the wayward children.
The children. So it's to be expected. Just let them do it. We'll set the example.
We'll punish them when we have to.
Guys, let's go to Boston. They're always good for a comment. Alex, representing all of Boston. Go ahead.
Is it true that the other two guys hid on a front lawn and he held the lamp and got away?
That was actually funny. Why am I not laughing? That was
my God, because I'm just dumbfounded.
They did hide. That was actually because they did hide.
That was a really funny joke, by the way.
That was a great one.
Can't laugh at it.
Can always count on Boston. Let's say hi to Tony in Huntington. Tony,
huh?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
Hi. Yeah.
You know, I always have a sense of comfort when some old guinea moves into the neighborhood. I live in Huntington, and immediately they pave over the front lawn, because then you know that the neighborhood is all safe, you know, and that somebody from Brooklyn or Queens is going to make sure that none of that goes on and that there's a community watchdog.
That is so goddamn funny. What is it with Italians that they got to dig up their front lawns and just pave it over or put gravel down? It just cannot be grass on the front lawn. They leave a little postage stamp of grass somewhere, but the whole thing is paved and driving cars on it.
You know why? Because when they cut the grass, they wear shoes and black socks, and they don't want to get mulch all over their shoes.
Stupid mooks.
Let's go to Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy.
Hey.
Go ahead.
Who the fuck wants to cut the fucking lawn anyhow? Listen.
Exactly.
I got to tell you something. This nigga should deserve what he got, okay? And that whining Jew bastard mayor, that son of a bitch, somebody should put a bullet in his head.
Wow.
All right, well, now hold on a second. Now,
we were protecting our own, okay?
See, this is where it gets ugly.
Now, I'm taking it you're from Brooklyn, sir.
What do you think?
Now, why would anyone go into that neighborhood when everyone who lives there thinks like this? Why would anyone go into that neighborhood and try to steal a car at 3 in the morning? What are you doing?
Look at this animal we have on the phone.
Exactly. This guy is going to tell his friends, I called up and I was very diplomatic. He's a psychopath.
He sounds tolerant, doesn't he? What tolerance you are to diversity, my friend. This guy will club a black guy over the head if he's there helping AIDS patients.
Yeah. And that Jew mayor, he's not Jewish. He is.
Whatever.
Like, it's certain neighborhoods, like I think it's 3rd Street. I don't think I'm breaking any, where the Hells Angels have their headquarters here in New York. And that is allegedly one of the safest blocks in New York. Because they don't want any problems outside. They don't want any scumbags running around.
You're going to screw around outside the Hells Angels?
You're going to walk down 3rd Street and start fucking around at 3 o'clock in the morning. A bunch of bikers are going to come out and smash your face. Are you going to cry hate crime? You shouldn't be there causing a problem because stay off that block if you're going to do something illegal.
We don't live in a utopian society. We never will.
Well, Howard Beach.
There are, there are just certain things that are fact. They're facts of life. It's the way we live as human beings. And Howard Beach is a white neighborhood with a lot of Italians there that aren't very open to diversity. And when 3 black guys come in with the only reason to be stealing something, this is going to happen. Just like the white guy that goes uptown.
And your example, Ant raised the example and kind of alluded to it this time. If I was uptown in Harlem dealing drugs, you said that like off the air, if I was selling dope on, let's say, 145th and Edgecombe, you'd probably get shot for infringing on their territory.
Exactly.
But how fast would you stand out? How fast would you get your head kicked in? You were absolutely, that was a great example.
And do you think they'd make reference to your race as they're beating you up?
Yeah.
Of course they would. Of course they would.
The cops would when they got you. You're white. What the fuck
are you
doing
an idiot?
here?
Exactly. There was an instance a couple of months back. A bunch of junior high school girls, I guess it was white girls, went to a playground, and they were attacked by a group of black girls and beaten up, stomped on their heads, and the whole time they were just taunting these white girls, calling them whitey, just whatever racial epithets you could come up for white people.
They just don't have a good term for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honky,
Yeah.
I know. It's nothing really good.
Hard-working motherfucker.
and the cops came, and I think even made a couple of arrests, but until some people really started clamoring, the word hate crime never even got brought up. The racial bias never got brought up.
It's just what they do.
Yeah.
That's the attitude
That's the attitude.
Let's go to Ohio. Chris, what's up?
Hey, there was how are you guys doing this morning?
All right, Chris, let's go.
There was a Mexican fella. He raped a 9-year-old girl, and the neighbors burned his house down. And then they said it was a racial crime.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
All right, let's.
Was he Freddy Krueger?
Really? Let's say hi to Charlie in Staten Island. Charlie.
What's up, boys?
Hey.
This is a race crime, just like Blue Sharks are washing up and attacking people in the Rockaways over there.
Right.
Yeah, hate crime is one of those catchphrases that the media just loves, too.
They know it's going to sell papers.
Yep.
And the disgrace to mention, I believe it was Michael Griffin was the guy who was chased. Was that the name? Because I know there was Howard Beach. I don't want to confuse that with Bentoners. And this was a guy who was doing nothing wrong, man. This was a guy who was just going home. If you attack a guy like that, you deserve to go to prison on a hate crime.
You
deserve it.
Those asses were just like, hey, here he comes. You get out of our neighborhood, beat him. This guy, obviously, look. The 3 guys that did this last night, was it last night?
Yeah, 2 nights. Yeah, I think so.
2 nights ago, whatever it was. The guys that did this, I'm sure they're not very sensitive, racially sensitive people. I'm sure there are 3 mooks from the neighborhood that don't like any black people in their neighborhood. I'm sure they are, racist. But in this case, these guys were in the wrong place doing the wrong thing. And they got their asses handed.
I'd love to hear how. First of all, they had a stare down. Again, it wasn't like they just rode by 3 black guys. They had one guy had a stare down with the 3 of them while he was in his car and they were standing. It's like, look, these guys all live a certain life, man.
Yep.
I'm sure the Italian guys weren't out delivering food either. I mean, they please, you're out at 3 in the morning and whatever time it was.
Right.
They know people who live a certain mentality recognize each other. Like that thug mentality, whether you're black or Italian. They look at each other's eyes. They recognize each other. If somebody sneezes, Ant and I will look at each other and go, naughty germs, and hide under the table. We recognize it.
Let's go to Alabama. Dwayne, what's up?
Dude, this is America. You're innocent until you're proven guilty. Yeah. So if they would have saw him stealing the car and put his head through the windshield, duct taped him, thrown him in the car, set the car on fire, justified. That's the way we get away with it down here in Alabama. If you kill someone when they're doing a crime, boom, you're a hero. But the second you assume that some jerk is going to do something, you cross the line.
I know. Dude, I know what you're saying, and that was the argument I think the first guy who called was trying to make. Like, yeah, they were there doing something, but how did they know that when they attacked him? But again, what I'm saying is they had this stare down with each other. They understand that mentality. Those black guys understood that they were dealing with some mook from the neighborhood, and he understood who he was dealing with. They looked at each other. They stared at each other. They knew. He came back with friends. He knew they were up to no good. It wasn't like they were just riding around in the middle of the afternoon. You understand?
You're right.
That's what I'm saying. That's the difference.
Hey, also, maybe I'm not getting this point across. Obviously, what these guys did, I'm not saying it's right what they did. The proper thing to have done would have been to call the cops. Keep an eye on him until the cops arrest him, and that's it. That would have been the right thing to do. What they did, it was jumping the gun. It was absolutely, you don't do stuff like that. You just don't. If they were committing a crime, you call the cops on them. But what I'm saying is, the way our world works, these are certain people of certain mentalities, like Jimmy said. And you're getting the white guys in the Escalade have their thug mentality, and the 3 black guys walking through the neighborhood looking to jack a car have their mentality. When the two get together, you're not going to get this civil discussion. You're not going to get them calling police because something is amiss. You're going to get a fight with throwing racial epithets back and forth and clubbing people over the head with baseball bats. That's the world we live in.
Because they're not being politically correct. They're being honest in a weird way. It's a bad way, but they're not hiding behind any fucking hyphenated language. And again, I'm not praising them, but you know what I mean? Like when black guys and white guys on that mentality are fighting each other, or there's a problem with them, there's a brutal honesty. Fuck you, white boy, fuck you. That's how they talk. That's what they do.
Yeah, and it would be perfectly acceptable if they caught him while he was jacking the car.
No.
You know, he's stealing the car. Oh, man, clip his leg, you know, put his head through the windshield. That's the difference between Southern hospitality and the way the animals do it up in New York.
The guy, look, man, they were up there doing something wrong. If they weren't doing something wrong, he should be charged with assault because the guy stealing a car, I don't know if it justifies a baseball bat to the head anyway, so he should definitely be charged with assault with a deadly weapon because he attacked the guy with an aluminum bat. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the guys were committing a violent act in Howard Beach. I'm not saying that he should have been killed for that. But just the way they spin the racial angle, it just makes me sick. And it takes away from the fact that a guy did get the shit beat out of him with a bat. That's the problem. The liberals, and I'm attacking you again. You say that to say nigger during, or to say spick, or to say Jew during an attack is worse than to not say it. So the language means something during a violent attack.
Yeah, the language means more than the attack.
Not the jaw being broken, not the bat to the back of the skull.
Right.
The language makes it more prison time.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got Eric Logan checking in. Elo.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi, Eric.
Sitting in the barber chair here. If you get hit in the head with a bat, it really hurts.
Once again, a good point, Eric. Thanks for calling out.
Take care, fellas.
He is good. He brings the conversation to a whole nother level.
Well, I wasn't thinking of that, but he actually does raise a point that if someone hits you, it's going to hurt. And it's like, that's what Eric does. He kind of makes you ponder.
Yeah. Let's say hi to our pal, Black Earl.
Earl.
What's up, brothers?
Hi, Earl.
But
Earl, you're from Queens, right?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever been to Howard Beach?
No, I haven't.
Earl has never. He lives in Queens. He has never been to Howard Beach. Earl, why wouldn't you go to Howard Beach?
I know better.
Thank you. There you go. He knows better.
Me?
And Earl, are there black neighborhoods that you could walk through that you know that I would? If I walk through, say, let's say Brownsville at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up there trying to steal a car, or am I going to have a fucking problem with some of the neighborhood residents?
You're going out you're getting carted away.
Yeah. If I go to East New York, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, what's going to happen to me if I'm just walking around 3:30 in the morning, perhaps looking suspicious?
You will get carted away.
Yep. You'll be brought into an alley and beaten to death.
Because you stand out in that neighborhood like a sore thumb. You stand out in the neighborhood.
No, well, and if you gave any type of attitude, there's really going to be a problem.
Yeah.
No, it's just... And the other part is you completely eliminate human nature says if you see a guy taking your car, you're going to get angry.
Yeah.
You're going to get very, very angry.
It's amazing how they look at race. Like when you're looking, when you're looking for mafia members, you don't go hunting Jews or blacks. You go to Brooklyn, to Queens, to Staten Island, and you look for Italians. When you say, look, we got to arrest a few Westies, you don't look for the gay community. You go and looking for the Irish. You understand? When you're looking for certain things, you have to look for race as a part of things. So when you don't live in a certain neighborhood and you're a certain race, you're going to stand out. If I'm in Brownsville, East New York, like you said, I'm going to stand out like a sore thumb. Is that racist? No, it's just a fact.
So, well, the question I have is this: did they tack on the charge of a hate crime, or this is a straight up hate crime?
I don't know. It should just be an assault with a deadly weapon.
It should be assault, right? The guy was speculating at that point that these guys were going to rob something. We're going to steal a car. Obviously, they were there to do that, but he doesn't know that 100%, even though he really does. And then he beats him over the head. Definitely assault, but hate crime? Stop it.
No, so it wasn't they were caught in the act.
Mm-hmm.
And, see, if they were caught in the act, they got what was coming to them.
Yeah, this wouldn't even be an issue.
But the bottom line is somebody looked at there was a racial decision made, or people made a judgment on race, which did turn out to be correct on this time, and it's going to be called a hate crime because they just love.
Because the language again is more important than the act itself. Him saying nigger was more important in this story than him caving his head in.
Well, I mean, but I think that's why we need the court of common sense to kick in a little bit.
The court of common sense.
Earl did not just say the court of common sense.
I believe he did. I'll check on the replay later on, but I do believe he said the court of common sense.
All right, what does the court of common sense say?
They got what was coming to them.
All right, there you go.
Thank you, Earl.
I mean, there's certain language, you know what I mean, there's language in the law.
All right, apparently the court of common sense is left, and now the court of boring has taken effect.
There you go. Earl, thank
now
you so
in
much.
session.
Bye, Earl.
Oh, jeez, is this the guy?
Jesus. This...
Nicholas Fat Nicky Minucci.
Why do they keep showing the one picture of the guy in his army uniform?
Yeah.
We know you were in the Army. Good for you when you were there. That's great you were in the service. But the bottom line is you were in the neighborhood stealing a car, and you got fucking whacked with a bat. Sorry.
No, I do believe the Post has a different picture of him in the paper.
Of course they're different.
Yeah. There he is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a little more like it.
Boy, this guy. If you had to pick a white guy that was going to beat a black guy with a bat, this guy, he looks like Kevin James, and yet he still looks racist.
Yeah. He's got his New York Yankee cap on.
Oh, he's a problem.
That's like mandatory in Howard Beach. You have to wear the Yankee cap. Oh, jeez. Look at this guy.
Or is it a Mets cap?
Yeah.
New York, it's a Mets cap. Wait, is it? No, it's
that's one of those Yankee caps. One of those black Yankee caps.
It's hard to see in this stuff.
I don't know what happens. Whenever it comes to sports, I just panic.
All right, why don't we take a quick break?
Hey, huh?
We'll continue down this road. Also, we got Rich Voss and Bonnie. They're here.
Know who Frankie is. Was that his name?
An associate.
An associate. They just identified him as an associate called Frankie. You know they're just driving around in the SUV. See them fucking niggas over there? What the fuck are they doing in our neighborhood? What? Let's go get Frankie. Who? Frankie? Petey's brother? No, not... You know. Fucking Frankie. With the fucking bat? Get Frankie. That's all they know. What's his last name? Oh, fucking,
Frankie.
what the fuck is his last name? I don't know. What do I fuck the guy? It's fucking Frankie.
Frankie with an IE.
His associate. Oh, man.
I was living in Rochester and had no money. I just got into radio and just out of college. And one of our friends, he had a house. He was working for, like, the city. And it was one of these houses they used for, like, people that needed help, whatever. It was a huge house, but it was in the ghetto. So this guy, he's like, hey, you guys want to live for free? Like, yeah, when you have no money, of course.
Yeah.
But it's in the ghetto. Like, I mean, in the ghetto. We were the only white people in this house. It was the scariest thing. The first night, you were scared for your life. You're just wondering if they're going to break in. I mean, you get that paranoia in your head. So we decided to throw, like, a huge keg party.
Yeah.
With the fraternity guys and the sorority girls and everyone from college.
Oh, boy.
And we're like, hey, come on to the ghetto, and we're going to have a party. And it was pretty much all white people in this house. A couple, black friends of ours, whatever.
Yeah.
In a really bad black ghetto neighborhood in Rochester. I got to remember the town. And some of the guys were outside, and an all-out rumble happens.
Oh, great.
An all-out rumble. Blacks against whites. I mean, the real deal, okay? And we are just getting the shit kicked out of us.
Of course you are.
We are getting destroyed because we're all hammered and they thought it was a good idea just to go outside and smoke cigarettes and just be wise asses because the fraternity mentality,
Yeah.
But you're dealing with like real guys here, a real fraternity, okay?
Hard,
not a
pipe hitting niggas.
Not a fake fraternity where it revolves around drinking beer from a keg,
marshmallows.
When you're in the ghetto, they have the real fraternities, okay? You can't compete against that. So we're getting the ass kicked out of us, and this guy Walt comes running in the house, and he goes, I will take care of the situation.
Uh-oh.
I mean, the cops aren't even around yet. I mean, I can't stress how bad this fight was. People are getting knocked out. It's just ugly, okay?
You got knocked the fuck out.
So, you just brought back a memory. That's where I'm going with this. So Walt comes running back into the house. He goes, I will take care of the situation. We're like, what the fuck are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to call Crowbar.
Ah. Well, when you can dial up Crowbar.
Some guy named Crowbar was going to come and take care of the problem.
You don't
Crowbar.
get the nickname Crowbar by doing nice things.
To this day, Crowbar never showed up, and I'm still wondering who the fuck is this Crowbar guy.
Crowbar probably busy.
To the point where this guy, Walt, was so confident that one guy named Crowbar was going to take care of this huge race war going on outside our stupid party. Crowbar. I'm calling Crowbar.
That's a great name.
Oh, God.
Maybe he meant I'm calling Two-Bar because he wanted to get Red on the phone.
Right.
Red, why, you yellow belly?
I'm going to go get
I'll cut Z's in your cheeks.
Did you hear that the one guy, though, that the two guys, when he was getting hit with the bat, came over and yelled, "Leave him alone!
Leave him alone!" Yeah, that happened to you. See? You ventured into the wrong neighborhood as a kid.
Me and my buddy were walking down to the projects in New Brunswick just because, we wanted to be white guys who could do it.
Yeah.
We got maybe 30 feet into New Brunswick, literally. And walking by, a gang of black kids saw us. They chased us with sticks.
Yeah.
I mean, that was many years ago. But the bottom line is we were there. We knew we shouldn't have been there. And we got chased out.
Yep.
It's
the way it is.
Hate crime.
We will not tolerate this in our city. Shut up. You
Black
will.
guys were stealing cars. That's what they do.
You do on a daily basis. You tolerate it, so shut up.
Let's say hi to Dave in Pennsylvania. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Opie.
Yeah.
Hey, I was wondering, that one guy caller called up there and said he don't mind when a guinea moved in next to him.
Right.
And you didn't hit the bell, but anytime anybody says nigger, you hit the bell.
Oh, wait a minute.
There you go.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Hold on, Dave. That's not my job on the program. I don't touch the inappropriate bell.
You know why, my friend?
Why is that?
Because the fucking guineas ain't going to come after me.
What? These guys down here, they were niggers. Because
Ow.
a black person... Well, wait a minute. A
Yeah.
black person goes out, he works hard, he takes care of his family. A nigger, whether it be black, white, yellow, or red,
Yeah, we've seen
are out there stealing from
the Chris
people.
Rock bit, my friend.
And plus, when's the last time you heard anyone? But I understand
I don't
the
buy that
argument.
argument,
That's
yeah.
not a good argument. A black
No.
guy and a nigger. It's come on.
All right. Let's go to Tommy in Jersey. Tommy.
How many white guys get called that?
Hey,
They never do.
Oh,
No.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Your story reminded me when I was living in Spring Valley, New York. I don't know if you're familiar with the area.
No.
But, it gets very dark at night. Me and my buddies moved up there right after we started college. We had a big 4-keg party. We were on 13 acres. One black guy, the whitest black guy you ever met, right? Starts shooting off about skateboards and that my buddy's body shop sucked. They get to a legitimate fight. Cops show up. He's in trouble for a hate crime. Why? Because the kid's black. Not because anybody spewed any racial epithets. It was just that a fight happened between a group of white kids and one black kid.
There you
Tell
go.
me where the justice is.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
It just brought back a memory of trying to find Crowbar. We couldn't get Crowbar to take care of the
where
situation.
was Crowbar?
I don't know. To this day, I don't know. I don't even know if the guy exists.
I had a friend named Crowbar from Pearl River, New York.
Yeah.
I don't know this Crowbar. I don't know what he does. Tell him you don't want to use him to Jimmy Things Open anymore.
Oh, God damn.
Which one?
Kevin.
Kevin, where am I?
New York.
Oh, okay. Let's say hi to Kevin in New York. Kevin?
Hey, boys, what's going on this
Hey,
morning?
man.
Hey.
I just wanted to see whether or not those guys woke up here in happy Kwanzaa music.
Oh,
wow. There's a good callback.
That's a good one. You know, if they didn't chase him out of that neighborhood, the neighborhood would have become some conglomerated, mulata, mongrel class of neighborhood. Look at the way that guy barks.
Oh, he just couldn't.
He just barks it out.
He just he can't hold it in anymore.
And ask them if they want to help save this country from the onslaught of integration. You know the system is they want to throw white children and colored children into the melting pot of integration, out of which will come a conglomerated, mulatto, mongrel class of people. Both races will be destroyed in such a movement. I, for one, under God, will die before I'll yield 1 inch to that kind of a movement.
That's awful.
That guy's got spunk.
Oh, jeez. He just explodes, that word mongrel.
And he's an older gentleman. And if anyone, people keep asking me where that clip is from, I don't know if we've explained it. It's from Mississippi Burning.
Yeah.
It's actual Klan footage, and it's just like Gene Hackman, I think, and Willem Dafoe are watching, like, you know, to get the background on the area. So they use that clip.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to Tom in Jersey. Tom, what did you learn on the show today?
I learned that black men should not shop for Escalades in Howard Beach at 3 in the morning.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have the latest on the hate crime in Howard Beach.
Hate crime.
Face of hate. The story's getting more and more interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, this guy's got an interesting little past. And, it's right in Keith's neighborhood there, huh? Yeah.
That it is.
Yes. Any inside info on this guy?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything either.
You get fired so fast.
Friend of Gotti, I would shut up too.
Yeah, maybe you should just...
Was he?
Not even...
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
He's a friend of Gotti's, Victoria Gotti's sons on that show.
Yeah.
Growing Up Gotti. Yeah, Growing Up Gotti. Apparently he's appeared on the show, and yeah. That's a nice.
Okay.
Just we'll talk about it later.
We didn't even talk about the Howard Beach thing, huh?
What, are we going to end on a light note? On that comedy story?
I thought you were going to talk about this. This is an interesting story, too. Right with the Army picture. He looks like Denzel in Glory. The Freedom Tower looks suspiciously like the design by famed architect Stern.
Ooh, they're ripping me off again. Tell him, Fred. I designed that building. That was my first studio. You ever hear from the top of the Howard Stern building? That's it. I invented it. What a tool. And the Daily News has the Howard Beach shocker. Second time at bat. Get it? Because he caved his head in with a bat?
Oh, cool.
Records reveal race attack suspect's previous arrests.
This guy
Who knew?
Got in some previous trouble.
Little previous trouble. It seems after the September 11th attacks, he was arrested for assaulting a Sikh man in Queens and clubbing them and shooting them with paintball guns.
So they're just trying to go about their lives, and he's across the street with a paintball gun just shooting at them?
Yeah. During the beating, Minucci allegedly screamed, "Fucking Arab, why don't you blow this up?"
This was while the...
I'm sure he grabbed his cock when he said that, too. "Hey, you fucking Arab, why don't you blow this up, eh? Come here."
He did this while the buildings were still burning.
No, it was after, wasn't it? Or no?
One of the stories I read,
oh my God,
the buildings were still burning, and he went out and he was so pissed off.
And one of them clubbed him while the Twin Towers burned,
wow.
The sources said. So as it was happening, he just found some poor bastard with a turban, not knowing that the Sikhs have nothing to do with anything.
But no one knew that at the time. No one knew what they were about. They just looked like Arabs.
Right, towel heads.
And then we finally got educated to realize that they had nothing to do with that, right?
Yeah. I don't think, no. Sikhs are fine.
He also stabbed a 16-year-old neighbor a few years back, a high school rivalry or something. So he had that going for him. And he's friends.
Yeah, but you didn't explain that story further. He knifes this kid in the neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the kid's going to testify or whatever, but he can't because he died.
Yeah.
He was on a subway platform and just happened to...
Yeah, it's a little odd.
And just happened to jump onto the tracks, I guess.
Yeah, he fell.
He fell onto the tracks.
Well,
wow.
Nicholas Fat Nick Minucci is his name.
Hard to be a lawyer with that nickname.
Yeah. He is stocky suspect known as Fat Nick. Sold a bread delivery route his family had given him for $80,000. He drives he's unemployed. Drives a $60,000 Cadillac Escalade. Has a $6,000 Rolex, and wears a $4,000 gold chain.
He's
around
19.
His neck. He's 19. His mother is on disability. He is friends with the Gotti kids, and has appeared on the Growing Up Gotti TV show.
Yeah. They are really going to nail this guy, too, because he's on the front page of every paper. It's like you're finished.
Yeah. Well, Reverend Al has shown his face on this one also. Reverend Al. He's there standing side by side with the mother of one of the guys that was beaten, the guy that was beaten over the head with the baseball bat. Of course, he's got to get right out there, looking very angered by this whole thing. And I guess what he's saying is, hey, this isn't about what anyone was there to do or any crimes that may have been tried to be committed and this, that, the. It's about the beating of another human being.
Why is it not about what they were there to do? Asshole. Why?
Because it was a white guy that beat up a black guy.
All right, at least it's logical.
Now it makes sense. And two of the other black guys, because one black guy got beat up, the other two ran away. One of the other guys is saying, why can't we? It's not the 50s or 60s. why can't we walk in any neighborhood we want?
That's right.
Because you can't. Because we can't. Because no one... There are certain people that just can't go into other people's neighborhoods. That's just the way it is. It's an awful thing. Sorry. Sorry, we don't live in this paradise where we can all walk around.
They were there to steal. They weren't just walking through the neighborhood.
Right. There really isn't enough emphasis being put on that.
Holy shit, is this aggravating.
This mook beating this guy over the head with a bat is a moron. But the fact of the matter is, these guys are in there robbing. They were there to steal.
You got what you had coming to you. Too bad.
And when you're committing crimes, what happens to you is, oh well, your responsibility. It happens.
How about if somebody breaks into your home and you shoot them, but you yell something racist? Is that also a hate crime?
It probably would be, yeah.
And I realize that these guys are not in the middle of the crime, but you understand the point. They were there to commit a crime. Ugh.
And they found them with all kinds of tools on them, which the mother said her son was carrying these tools to hang a pair of Air Jordans on his wall at home. So he needed a hammer and a screwdriver and various other implements to hang sneakers up on the wall.
Well, when I first heard he had the tools, I thought there couldn't be a rational explanation. And then when you hear that, you're like,
now I get it.
Attaboy.
Now I get it.
These fuckers are really screwing it up for me.
Why? Oh, they're screwing it up for you there?
Yeah.
You're black, Drew?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not buying that one fully either. I don't know.
Newsflash.
You're the fake black guy.
No, he's very musical.
I had a black guy in high school that was like Drew.
I think you got a little blood in you, but I think Massa was making a few trips out to the house way back when.
Oh, yeah.
You know? You got what color are your eyes?
Hazel.
They're like hazel.
Yeah.
Very light. Very attractive.
You have blonde hair.
Thank you, man.
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
You call me Daddy.
Your name isn't really Drew Boogie.
That's right.
It's Ishmael Schmidt.
Yeah. Fred Eichmann.
I think the white blood in the black broad's cuting them up a little bit.
Wait a minute. Whatever happened to you liking the dark Wesley Snipes?
No, let me tell you something. You get a black guy.
I mean, how pissed are they really? Do you want to look like the mother from Good Times or Halle Berry, man? You get a little white blood in you.
Dude, you get a black guy and a white chick go together, and they don't even have to be attractive. No. Black guy and white chick.
They make great babies.
Supermodels. They breed supermodels.
They give you a nice, beautiful, conglomerated, mulata, mongrel class of baby.
Am I wrong, Drew? The white blood helps you guys out.
They come out supermodels.
Brings
all
out
the time.
the cuteness.
Those are the ones I seek out.
Black and Asians make very black Asians are very cool combination too.
Yeah, but they come out flat chested and no ass.
Yeah, that's true. You need the ass. Well, the black might add the ass. You know.
It depends on what trait.
Not the ones.
Because like I was saying, there's a bigger muscle that rides higher up in the buttocks, and that makes them the better athlete.
You want to get the best qualities of both race. You know,
when they bred them back then, they bred the big black buck with the. Do you think that cameraman was just going, oh my God, I am filming Jimmy the Greek's death right here.
Oh, yeah.
Keep talking, Jimmy. Jimmy's got a scotch on the rocks in front of him. And he's just going on and on about how the slave owners used to breed the black buck to be strong, and that's how we got the better athlete today.
Do we have that on tape?
It was just... Oh, but why don't we have that?
We got to find
Try
that
to
one.
find that. Something? I haven't come across that in over the years, and that is one of those clips that is just like, the cameraman's just, are you getting this? Like the news guys just look at the camera, are you getting this? Oh, my God, this is the end of Jimmy the Greek right here.
What year was that, like 85 or something?
Yeah, and then he just faded away completely and then dropped dead.
Get something your boy Sid said. It's not too far off.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
All right, so that's it with the Howard Beach?
Now it's just Sid.
Is that's about it for the Howard Beach for now?
This guy's pretty much done. And the other guy, the mysterious guy, Frankie, remember him, the associate?
Yeah.
Turns out he's an NYPD detective's son.
Right.
And was really rushed out of one of the precincts yesterday. In a car. They showed the clip. They opened the car door. He ran out with something over his head, jumped into the back seat, which had the seats folded down with an opening to the trunk, rolled into the trunk. Then his father came in and flipped the seats up, and the car sped off.
Why did he roll in the trunk?
So the press couldn't get any shots of him inside the car. It was amazing. This father's protecting the shit out of this kid.
And this kid's in deep trouble when he gets home, man.
Oh,
Could you
he's
imagine?
probably thinking, please, could you keep me in jail? Because my father is going to kill me.
Jail would be a pleasure at this point. Hey, we only have a minute left in the show.
You know that guy, Keith?
Which one? The
father
the
of the...
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
I mean, Caroline's is great for the headliners and stuff, but I'm talking about just going on a regular night and seeing comedy. Nothing beats the Cellar.
You want to see Keith Robinson just go down there and work on material. There's that one night a year where you can walk in and catch that.
How about that awful yellow shirt he had on last night?
He is just fucking finished in life. He has tinted sunglasses and like he wears on stage. He really is a fucking 1975 idiot. Keith is finished.
He's a real... Hey, you guys let the curse on here?
Of course we are.
He's a real as Fat Nick, if I can quote him.
As Fat Nick would say.
Good old Fat Nick.
As he hops out of his Escalade.
Good old Fat Nick. Yeah, so I went to the
Did
Cellar.
you see some of the clips of that whole scene down there with the neighborhood driving around with the soaped up windows, free Fat Nick? And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of people
Well, the
were...
funniest thing was, the first racial epithet, the first use of the N-word was the black kids called the white kid that.
Really? Is that what happened?
Yeah, to go, yo, look at the chain on that skinny nigga, you know?
Really?
That was the first use of it, I swear to God. So
And
that's
then
how
the other
life
guy-
has changed. The black kids called the white kid that, you know?
Nigga, yeah, and then they drove around, picked up a couple of associates,
But
like Frankie.
what I pointed out, any good lawyer can get him off because he jumps out of his Escalade. He was listening to 50 Cent in the Escalade.
Yeah.
He jumped out of the Escalade, so chasing the kid's back is turned. He goes, get that nigga. He could have said, hey, that was 50 Cent. That wasn't my client.
Oh, there you go. It was just he had his radio up very loud. Well, that'll work, I'm sure.
You never know these days.
I think Fat Nick's going to jail.
Oh, he already is in jail.
And now they got the cop's son just turned states.
Yeah.
Kind of ratted out Fat Nick.
You don't
Get
roll
off the
over
hook.
on Big Nick.
Well, you're a cop's son, you know.
Sure.
You got to keep him out of trouble. Yeah, well, stay tuned.
He's a stoolie.
Well, thank God those kids were just there in the neighborhood. They had every right to be there, robbing a car.
That's right. Every right to be
if you
there.
go to rob a car, you get a beating. That's the way it goes.
That's it.
Too bad.
Of course, you're in the neighborhood. You knew what they were doing in there.
You know,
Stop
you're from Ronkonkoma. That's Howard Beach of today.
And, like Jimmy pointed out a little while ago, that was all over the papers for last week. Hate crime, hate crime, hate crime. And there was something that happened while we were away that is, pretty fucking tragic.
What happened?
There was a lady that was stabbed, twice or three times in the mall parking lot because this black guy hated the white lifestyle.
Yeah, I had to kill a white, was his quote.
Had to kill a white. She was getting out of her car. He didn't like the way she opened her car door. Which was what
blonde,
it was. He was walking
blonde,
by.
Blue eyes.
She opened her car door, and he was under the impression that she was trying to hit him with the car door. So he took his knife that he had just stolen from one of the stores at the mall, put the knife to her throat, and then somebody else passed by. He put the knife down a little bit, hoping that she was going to try to get away. He said that would have made it easier to stab her in the chest, which is what he did.
Well, our problem is we don't protest those things. We should be out in the street. Sharpton's not going to do it for us.
Of course.
I got the audio of the news story really
That's,
fast.
A shocking confession today from the man accused in last week's murder at a White Plains shopping mall. In a videotaped confession played in court today, suspect Philip Grant says he hid in a stairwell at the Galleria Mall parking garage looking for a white woman to kill. He says he's fighting a racial war, and that's why he fatally stabbed Conchita Russo Carrero.
Just a loving family lover. I mean, she just loved her children and loved society, and she was petite in size but big in heart.
On the tape, Grant also confessed to killing as many as 4 other people in the 1970s. Police are now investigating his claims.
It gets it gets a half a page on the Post. The fucking Daily News, which just stinks as a paper.
Yeah.
The editor should be executed. Doesn't even mention it.
No. Was she going in there in the mall to rob a store? Or was she
Exactly.
just shopping? Is she recovering in a hospital, or is she dead?
Yeah.
There's nothing. White people stink. We don't friggin' go out and protest. We don't do nothing. We just sit here and take it. And then, you got to see a week's worth of Fat Boy with his bat on the cover of all the papers.
Yeah. Bless you, sweetie.
Opie!
I wish I could
You're
have done that
sneezing all over
in
the
Jimmy's
place.
car.
Opie, why don't you cover your mouth? Jesus, Jim's...
Opie can sneeze where Opie wants.
Exactly, coward. Now
Opie can
listen to me.
sneeze at me in my car. Like, thanks a lot.
If Tough Crowd was
Appreciate
still
that.
on, you would have let that sneeze slide.
I would have rolled both windows up and enjoyed it. You all right, Carl? Can I get you a lozenge?
Lozenge.
Breathe deep.
One of those silly words, lozenge. That and hiney. So where were we with these? The white lady there? So
Well,
she was just
now
murdered
she's
for
dead.
Yeah, no, obviously, you know, but
she's dead. But
no one's raising a stink.
No one's raising a stink about it.
When did
Because,
it happen?
Like Jimmy brought up, it's just with the way a lot of the liberals look at it. It's just expected of black people.
It's what they do.
It's what they do. Some of the most racist people you'll find are these liberals that have
That's
that
true.
mindset. They don't. She had to die for being white. There were actually 2 black guys that went down to one of the islands and got murdered down there, and you barely heard anything about it.
Barely.
And it wasn't. Barely nothing. You didn't hear anything.
Nothing about
Yeah,
it.
News to me.
2 guys. Yeah, went down there, and you got murdered, and you really didn't hear anything about it.
What's your take on the Howard Beach thing?
Look, man.
We've been talking about that story for a little over a week now. I mean,
Yeah.
for the rest of the country, basically, a few brothers were in a...
3 black guys wandered into Howard Beach looking to steal a car, and a white guy driving around in his Escalade kind of got in some kind of a eyeball altercation. This guy, Fat Nick, got a couple of his buddies and a baseball bat, went after him, got one of the guys, beat him over the head, put him in the hospital with a fractured skull, and now he's up on hate crime charges.
Let me ask white people this. Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're, by the way, going to be surprised the angle we took on the Howard Beach thing.
Do you get embarrassed when you think it's getting better? Do white people go, I think it's in your white world, do you go, things are getting so much better? And then you hear this and you go, oh my God, I thought everything was...
But everything was good.
I didn't think niggas were getting beat with bats anymore. This is not...
No,
it's like not a surprise.
I'm not delusional. I know shit ain't getting any better than it was. People's feelings haven't changed. Laws have been put in place that make it harder to be racist. That's all.
That's what it is. It's legislated.
It's not. Yeah, it's legislated. Like that's making racism go away. No, there's still black guys that hate white guys. There's still white guys that hate black guys.
But I think it's
the way
something we
it is.
do. I think it's something we like to do. You know what I'm saying? I
It's
just think
basic
it's enjoyment.
animal nature. People enjoy, like animals, people enjoy hanging out with their own people more than they do other people's people. That's why you'll have white guys with black friends, black guys with white friends, like that. But for the most part, when you're going out, it's like you're usually with your own people. You don't want some conglomerated, mulatto, mongrel group of friends.
Both races will be destroyed in such a movement.
I guess that's true, because I consider myself a friend with Opie, and anytime I try to hug him, you should just look at the face.
Just fear,
I don't
right?
like hugging.
Why not?
Fear.
First of all, you could squash me.
I'm gentle when I come
He's
up
a
on
big, gentle bear of a hug.
You know what? And Opie, you know how Opie's great? He doesn't even hide, like, how uncomfortable he is. His whole face mushes in, like, are you
does it?
ready to goddamn hug me, motherfucker?
I hate hugging big guys just because, and I don't care what friggin' color you are, just for the fact that I come out as the bitch in the relationship, and there are times I put my foot up, like I'm hugging, and my foot goes up, and I'm like, I am a little bitch in this relationship.
I make friends with the fake black people.
Why?
What's fake black people?
They're fake black people. There was
Like
this-
Earl?
Earl's totally a fake
Yeah.
black. You think you're hanging with one of these ghetto brothers, and you realize he's just as white as us.
He's just safe.
Yeah.
He's
You
just
know,
a
you
guy.
want to feel like, hey, look at me hanging with the ghetto bros.
You want Sinbad, not Fitty.
And then as soon as
50 Cent.
Earl and I are walking down the street, and a real brother is coming the other way, he's just as scared. he's just. I remember this kid in high
In
school.
other words, Drew Boogie.
I remember this kid in high school. He was the black kid. I played basketball, so. And this one black kid on our team he acted like he was...
One black kid on your basketball team?
No, we had, I mean...
Oh, okay, this particular...
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a little town called Paradise.
Come on, it was Green Lawn. It must have been at least 2.
This guy had everything going that the ghetto had going. He had the styles, the movement, the talk. He would walk those halls, and quite frankly, most of us were like, a little intimidated by the guy. He had it. It looked like he had it, right? So we go and play, I think it was Amityville, which is, you want to talk about...
oh, yeah.
A black neighborhood. It's the real deal, okay?
Where the house is. Amityville, New York, seriously, is a black
That's
neighborhood.
South Amityville, though. That's kind of nice area. Beach houses. We're talking North Amityville.
You're talking Disney.
In order to get through the Amityville horror, You have to go through North Amityville.
Okay.
Which is much more of a horror show.
Oh, my goodness. Whoa.
But, so this kid...
Lock your doors.
So you get the idea. This guy, had this image like he was a badass motherfucker from the ghetto, right?
Right.
So we go to Amityville to play these guys, and then first of all, there's a curfew in the town back in the day.
Right.
And we had armed guards that got us...
Armed?
I swear to God.
Really?
Whatever,
Wow.
a police officer, whatever. Okay.
That's not. This is all not surprise. No,
not
a surprise.
Because
story,
our basketball team was mostly white. Yes,
Right.
there was maybe 2 or 3 brothers on the team. So we had guys that escorted us from the bus to the locker room to the bench where we played, and they were behind us. And it was. I'm not gonna lie. It was a scary, scary scene when you're not used to this type of thing. And this guy that was supposed to be the badass guy from the ghetto was just as scared as us. And that's when I realized there's black guys and there's fake black guys.
Amityville high school guys were in their 30s.
I'm in the
Oh
middle.
yeah, they all had full beards and dunking over us. The game was over after the first quarter, but we still had to play 3 more quarters. It was just, what a nightmare.
I didn't become
And that
friends.
kid was on the bench just as scared, getting a little closer to us. I'm like, man, you've been a phony all these years.
Well, he's not a phone. It's just there's levels to it, man. It's like I grew up in one of the toughest parts of that, but I was always I was a clown, man. I was a chubby clown, but I knew how to play basketball and I was funny. So the dudes that were gangsters didn't mess with me, you know what I mean? But I know I'm comfortable around that because I know how to get around, but I'm not that. I'm not, but I didn't have white friends until I started doing comedy. Like,
being funny keeps you out of a lot of shit.
It does, man.
Really does help out in school. You don't get beat. There's those little cliques that go around, the jocks and all that bullshit in high school and stuff. And I was pretty much on good terms with all of them.
Because you was funny. And if you picked on the right, like if you wasn't a bully with your funniness, like I went after everybody, you know what I mean? Like Norton goes after everybody, you know. And I know Norton probably took a slap back in the day.
No, I didn't get beat up much because
shut up.
I didn't.
Leave him alone.
All right, I would run. But just interrupt me for 1 second. I was going I used to wear Kangos, because I was in that awful phase, and I was going to get a drink of water, and this tough black kid from like a real awful neighborhood who had moved in, cut in front of me, and just kind of moved me.
Oh.
And I was like, all right, go ahead. Like I was.
All
trying
right,
to
go ahead. Like, yeah, you're giving him
gangsters.
permission.
Two
gangsters getting a little water.
Go ahead, homeboy. I know you thirsty.
My face is getting hot just thinking about that.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
When Orlando took my Kango off, and I turn around and snap, he goes, "You want to fight me?" And I'm like, "If you want to look at my hat, just ask."
Just ask.
Can't you see Norton in high school with his golf gloves, up to the forearm gothic gloves, and his dumb black T-shirts?
Not much going on in the news. Well, it's a big story actually, the Howard Beach thing.
Oh yeah,
we should jump on that a little bit. Howard Beach victim busted for armed robbery.
That's
victim.
Shocking.
Yeah. This is very shocking. I didn't expect this now, because these were just fine young gentlemen that were walking around Howard Beach at 3:30 in the morning. These 3 black guys.
They were wandering around the neighborhood, and they got beat up pretty bad. And
one of them got beat up pretty bad. The other 2 made off.
Right, and now everyone's yelling and screaming, hate crime, hate crime, hate crime.
Yep.
But Fat Nick there was claiming at the time that they were... looking at his gold chains and stuff, right?
Yeah, put a screwdriver up to him, held him against a wall, and demanded his gold chains. This is what Fat Nick said these 3 did to him earlier in the day, and that spurred his attack later on. Not the fact that they were black guys, but they're in the neighborhood trying to rob him. He's going to get a little retribution, a little justice. Well, a friend who was chased with Howard Beach beating victim, whatever his name was, during an alleged racial attack has been busted for robbing a terrified teen at gunpoint, cops said yesterday. Richard Wood, whose black friend was beaten by a white man in Queens neighborhood last month, ripped a gold chain off his 18-year-old victim as an accomplice cocked a loaded pistol on a subway train Sunday in Brooklyn. They said, "Give me your money." He thought they were joking. But then they pointed the gun at his head, the victim's shaken mom said. He told them, "I have no money." So they tried to take his new sneakers. but he wouldn't let them have it.
What asshole doesn't give up his sneakers with a gun pointed at his head?
Usually the dead asshole in the story.
Holy shit,
Give
what
him
a
the
dummy.
sneakers, whatever you want. Take it away. The thieves made off with the boy's $375 gold chain, a bus ticket, his wallet, which contained $10, his learner's permit, and an ATM card.
There you go. Nick should have killed this piece of shit with that baseball bat.
That's right. One law enforcement source said Woods' bust Sunday for alleged swiping a gold chain could wind up supporting the Howard Beach suspect's contention, ding, and blow apart the case's hate crime angle. Yeah, I think he could get off on this now, Fat Nick.
Good.
I think this is unless, of course, these asshole lawyers get involved and don't allow this to be put into his case. And
hopefully it shows a pattern of behavior, but if they'll say
Right.
it happened after, it's irrelevant, of course.
Uh-huh.
He's a fucking criminal, and he should have got his head cracked with a bat.
Yeah, you know, they were walking around this all-white neighborhood, 3:30 in the morning, they said, admittedly, looking to steal a car, and some white guys came along and beat the shit out of them. Oh, well, it happens, and like we said before, if it was 3 white guys in the wrong part of town and they were trying to do something a little shady, even not, if they were just walking around, they'd get their asses handed to them, too.
And it would never make the paper.
It wouldn't be a
as
hate crime. It probably wouldn't make the papers. Yeah.
It's a hate crime now.
Well, this just goes to show you the caliber of victim that is involved in this story. These aren't victims. These are criminals that got roughed up by some people in the neighborhood that didn't want that element in their town.
Yep.
That's what this is. This isn't a hate crime. This is community watch. That's what I like to call it, with a Louisville slugger.
All right.
This isn't a college, 3 college-bound kids
not.
walking through the neighborhood, and this proves it. I wonder when the other asshole's going to get arrested.
Puts a gun in your face. Give me your sneakers. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a valued member of society.
He's going to amount to something. Reverend Al, go ahead. Where's Reverend Al?
Where is he?
Come on, Reverend Al, get out there. Protect the rights of the victim. The victim was Hispanic in this robbing.
Oh, of course, that doesn't count then. Just a
Nah,
minority robbing a minority. I guess that's expected.
Screw it. It's expected. Yeah. But when Whitey, who is so superior, does things, that's not expected of them, so they must be prosecuted.
Fucking Bernie Getz, even though he freaked out on this show, is still a hero, and you shot those vermin, and you know what? They were fucking criminals, and you should have killed all 4 of them.
God knows how many lives
Oh,
he
he
saved.
tried. He was just a bad shot.
God knows how many lives he saved in the future. There are people walking around that might have been dead or permanently fucked up from being raped or something that he didn't give these guys the chance to do it.
One of them did rape a pregnant woman on a rooftop
Yeah,
after that. They're
exactly.
just awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Well, this guy also, Richard Wood, he called up the hate crimes division, got one of the cops on the phone and said, look, can you help me out on this case I've just been arrested on? Look, I helped you guys out, now help me. So he's trying to parlay this whole hate crime thing into getting him off the hook for this crime that he committed. Just a waste of life.
Scumbag.
Waste of life that's going to amount to nothing. And unfortunately, he wasn't one that tripped as they were running.
Puts a gun in somebody's face. Give me your sneakers.
Sneakers.
Ugh.
And then he left the scene, changed his clothes, and then he was identified by the victim. The cops drove him around, and like a great scene out of Cops, he's there arguing with the cops that it couldn't be him because he's wearing different clothes. How brilliant is that one?
Wow.
But you know how cops question people. They don't say, we had a guy that fits your description, and then tell him what he was wearing, and you're not wearing the same clothes, but this guy said, they don't talk like that. Cops always try to trip you up. So they probably say, we have a guy that matches your description. Wait, but I'm wearing different clothes. You know, these friggin' morons.
Well, because you panic.
Yeah, but you can't match my description. I'm wearing different clothes. Oh, really?
Let's say hi to Joey in Howard Beach. Joey!
Hey, what's up, fellas?
How's Fat Nick?
Fat Nick's still in jail.
Fat Nick's mother on 1010 Wins this morning. I was listening to her comments.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that.
We ought to pull that off. She's talking about how her son didn't hit the black guy over the head with the bat, that he just fell. He fell down, and that's what happened. My son wouldn't have done that. It was a fight. Teenagers get into fights all the time. He fell down. That's what happened.
Gotta love Fat Nick.
Nick.
All right, Joey. His mother's like Sonny's mother in Dog Day Afternoon.
Exactly.
I talked to the FBI, man. He said it's going to be all right. Run! The cops with guns, run. And in the break, Anthony said to me, he goes, hey, Jim, did you read that story?
I like to wind up Jimmy a little bit.
Well, you were completely right. And I'm like, what story? He goes, no, you probably didn't read it. He goes, go to page 16 of the Post. And I look at page 16, he goes, no, up, by the dental implants ad. So I look up, and Anthony points out that here's the story. Crown Heights Jew beaten by 3 blacks. A Hasidic man was attacked by 3 black men spewing anti-Semitic slurs at him as he walked to his Crown Heights home. Said the 3 men accosted him from behind, punched him in the face, knocked off his glasses, and shouted, hey, Jew, what are you doing here? Let's get the Jew. 3 Hasidic men came to this guy's aid, and the attackers ran off. Let me repeat that. Hey, Jew, what are you doing here? And then said, let's get the Jew. Page 16 of the New York Post next to a dental implants ad.
Yeah.
Fucking Nick, that fat Nick, who, again, little thug prick. Right. These guys were thug pricks. Got into it with each other because a thug recognizes the thug. I'm not saying Nick's a great guy. And it's front page news of both of these dog shit New York papers.
Yeah.
The fucking political correctness in this city it's vomit-inducing.
For days, it was front page news. He was
hey,
on the front
Jew,
page.
let's get the Jew. How is that not the same merit of outrage? Where is the black community? Where is the press?
Nowhere. It's a hate crime under their under the press's what the fuck's the word I'm looking for?
Under what dictates a hate crime? It certainly is.
Definition. Thank you.
Oh wow.
Fuck.
Under their presses.
Under the press's definition.
Oh, press. Okay.
Oh, the press's definition. Okay.
It's a hate crime.
Mm-hmm. And it's not that they don't care about Jews. It's not that it's that they're so afraid of being misconstrued as racist by criticizing somebody black on a racial issue.
That's it. You can't. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. These 3 black guys, racist. They're attacking a guy and spewing racial epithets.
Let's see, Daily News. I'm just curious as to where it is here.
I don't think you'll find it.
No, because how can anybody not recognize that the press... Fox is conservative. Yes!
Mm-hmm.
But to think that the other papers or the other media outlets don't have a slant... Let's see. All right, I'm just trying to get through the 40
Where
pages
was it
of
on the
ads.
broadcast news, on TV, where they were a hate crime today? Where were they?
They were too busy standing in the fucking subway complaining that there might be racial profiling from people trying to idiotically protect their own lives from being blown apart by a backpack bomb.
Page 16.
I'm not that conservative. I honest to God am not. I know I sound like a Bush lover. I'm for stem cell research. I'm for gay marriages. I don't give a shit. I'm not that conservative.
A boot in the belly in 8 months pregnancy?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Or as
I
like to call it, you put your foot out, there go the steps, the old whoops-a-daisy.
Wow.
Hey, Jew, what are you doing here? And let's get the Jew.
Yeah. If that isn't hate crime, and then they beat him.
And they beat him and punched him and attacked him 3-on-1. Where the fuck is the mainstream media? The Times would never cover it. No. Never. They'd actually apologize to the young man for that annoying Jew being in their black sight line. That fucking liberal rag. Yeah, liberal rag.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Disprove what I say, please. Can the press for once report something like this as a racial crime from the other end?
It's just evident every day. Every day stuff like this is just right in your face. People don't want to see it. You tell them, look, why is it on page 16? Why isn't it front page news like stupid fat Nick and the black guy he clubbed over the head with a baseball bat? Who was into... I don't know, but I doubt the Jew was walking around looking to steal cars that night, too.
Absolutely. That was a 3-on-3. This was a 3-on-1. This guy was walking home, not a criminal. They were 3-on-3, and the guys were there to rob a car.
Yeah.
And yet that is still front-page news. Mm-hmm. How does anybody not want to throw up?
And he's still in jail with no bail.
He's still in jail.
Because no judge wants to give him bail, or he will be crucified by blacks and the media as being, look at this guy, this racist judge let this racist out of jail. So he sits there and rots. He hits some guy over the head, a car thief over the head with a bat, and he's in jail. This, page 16.
Where's the civil libertarians? Where's all like the New York Civil Liberties Union, ACLU? Where are you being vocal about something like this? You're not.
It's expected of them, Jimmy.
Exactly what it is.
With those people, it's expected, so we don't make that much of a fuss.
Okay. We have one more story to get to before we get out of here.
Suck. Oh. They do it. It's not, again, nobody sits down. It's like the JFK assassination. Mm-hmm. Nobody sits down and says, all right, guys, don't do this. It's an unspoken rule. You just know it exists. You know it exists. But you know what? I was so glad I didn't have to go into cheery mode right there.
What happened?
You wrong button pushing son of a bitch.
You had the...
I'm not feeling too good about myself.
You had the wrong template on, didn't you?
I'm not feeling too good about myself.
Oh, don't let it get you down.
My whole responsibility during that rant was to push one lousy button, and I couldn't do it.
You could do it. It was a mistake. Oh, we all make them.
But I tried.
It happens.
But it's every time you look at it, that's what you see in the media.
I didn't push that.
That's a good idea, too.
All right, well.
Oh, wait.
Oh, man.
There you are. Get
that
the hotness
been really
back in the
good,
show.
too.
I am so distracted by this fat Nick sentencing. I want to set something on fire.
I saw the cover of the New York papers here today, and I looked and said to everyone, I go, Jimmy's going to lose his mind on this one.
You want to explain for the rest of the country, because it is a localized story.
Absolutely.
But I think it went all over the country for the most part, but just in case.
For the rest of the country, here in New York, we are a bunch of dopes. There's a guy named Nick. They call him Fat Nick, and he's an Italian guy, I think, from Brooklyn.
Hey, yeah.
And one night, him and his friends are out, and there's 3 black guys in Howard Beach. They're there to steal a car. Fat Nick and his friends are making eye contact as they drive by. The guys are out. They all know what they're up to. The black guys know what they're doing. The white guys, they're a problem.
Yeah.
So Nick and his friends come back with a bat. Nick jumps out, and they start to fight. They chase the guys out of the neighborhood. And he hits one of the guys, Glenn Moore, with the bat.
While using racial epithets.
Yes, he had the nerve to actually say naughty things about the young man's race.
As he's beating him with a bat.
Definitely a bad thing to do, to hit a guy with a bat. But the guy admitted he was there to steal a car with his friends. Nick and his friends knew what they were doing in the neighborhood. They knew what they were doing. For instance, if you're a white guy, you go to Harlem to buy drugs, and you dare to do something illegal, and you get your ass beat, no one's feeling bad for you.
No one's feeling bad for you. They're not going to call it a hate crime.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But, of course, the dummies and the groveling prosecutor in the city, they arrest this guy, Nick. And, he should have got some kind of jail time for hitting a guy with a bat.
Hitting the guy with a bat. He got more time for the words that were coming out of his mouth than the bat he was wielding.
But the groveling racial obsession we have in this city, it is mind-boggling. He gets 15 years.
Yeah.
And I like the fact Steve Dunleavy in the Post wrote a pretty good article.
Yeah, you read that?
Yeah.
Because he mentions the other case on April 1st.
The problem is, look, race crimes are not covered the same in the city because white people are terrified, guilty idiots. There was a case, Steve Dunleavy said, but if it's a race hate crime, what about John Heeman, 20, New York University student? On April 1, he's on 125th Street in Harlem. A wolf pack of minority kids chased him into traffic screaming, "Get Whitey, get the white boy." Mercedes knocked him down, and the wolf pack laughed as his life ebbed away. He was killed by a passing car because these black kids chased him into the street saying, "Get the white boy." No authority said it was not a hate crime. The intent was larceny and not race bias. So they weren't even charged with a race crime. It's not in the paper.
No.
I'm reading the Daily News. There's a guy named Michael Daly. I can't read the whole article. It could be the most... I can't even think of the words to describe...
It's more than infuriating.
What a wormy liberal. This guy, what a groveling superiority white guy. He's the worst white guy I've ever seen in my life. I can't read it all. but this is the wording, the soft language used. Glenn Moore has at times played a bit part in the city's troubles, as he does not dispute he was up to no good the night Nick beat him with a baseball bat while uttering a racial epithet. But when he stepped up to speak at the Salem sentencing yesterday, Moore proved he also harbors a small yet precious piece of our city's greatness.
This is a car thief thug.
Listen to this white, guilt-ridden idiot. At the same time, Moore taught an important lesson to those of us who tend to divide the world into good guys and bad guys. This ass is making this guy, because Glenn Moore kind of spoke at...
Yeah, he gave a victim's, what do they call that?
Well, can I read what Glenn Moore said?
Yeah, and folks, pull over, because the words of wisdom out of Glenn Moore's mouth, I mean, it's enough to make you cry. I mean,
this is from...
kid.
Get a tissue.
This is from Glenn Moore, who admitted
Victim's impact statement.
Yeah.
This is from Glenn Moore, who admitted that he was there on that June night. June night.
Why are the Jews? Why are you bringing the Jews into it, Opie?
He's on that June night to control the media.
He openly admitted that he was there to steal cars.
Yeah.
Specifically expensive cars, right? Well. Okay. This is what he had to say at the sentencing yesterday. Glenn Moore. Although at first I was extremely bitter, I now have a different state of mind. This situation has been a bad experience. However, it has helped me to look at my life, and I appreciate it more every day. I could easily not have been here because of your stupidness.
Stupidness.
You need to look at your actions and see the ignorance in it. I just hope one day you could take full responsibility for your actions and learn from them.
If you're not dropping a tear right now, I don't know what you call yourself as a human being. There's a part here, he also said...
How Nick didn't grab the judge's gavel and start pounding him in his pudding head again.
Oh, listen to what else he said. Your actions of that night caused me to initially feel anger and uncomfortable around those of the opposite race, Moore said.
The opposite race.
That's what he said.
That right there speaks volumes.
Did Nick chasing you with the bat really make you feel uncomfortable around the opposite race?
Yeah.
You didn't feel uncomfortable being in the whitest neighborhood in the country to steal a car.
To steal cars.
You jackass.
Why is everyone forgetting he's a car thief thug?
Because we are just... You know what it is? Most white people, I hate to say it, feel better than black people. That's why this Michael Daly is just so touched by the emotions of this idiot.
Yeah.
Look at him behaving like one of us. That's what he's basically saying about Glenn Moore. Look at him behaving like a white guy, having empathy, having a little bit of anger, just like a white guy would.
There's more internal racism in people like him with his writings than there is in some stupid idiot like Nick, like Fat Nick, who's another dolt.
You know, did you read on...
I have
the Michael Daly. So
he's the most groveling white guy I've ever read.
Yeah,
I'm 38 tomorrow.
This is Michael Daly commenting. Then came a glint of what makes our city great, of what allows people of every race and nationality to live together here more peacefully than not. And this is what Moore said now. However, because I'm not an ignorant person such as you, I today have overcome those mixed emotions.
Have you?
And then it goes back to Michael Daly in his column. Moore was saying that he was not going to let some knucklehead racist and hater make him a racist and a hater.
Yeah.
He had even managed to distill some good from the bad.
So you're going to steal from black neighborhoods now also? Is that what he's going to do?
Have you ever read more childlike praise for an adult? And then he said thank you when a white lady handed him a candy.
Yeah.
Did he
the guy's
really?
Making him out to be Maya Angelou.
And what else did he do? Did he smile when the old southern white gentleman handed him a Jubilee or a lemonade? Oh, my God. What groveling, childlike praise.
All right, here is what you can only hope for.
God.
You can only hope that this idiot goes out, tries to steal another car, and gets more than a bat. Because, I don't know. The guy's a thug. He's a thug. Every thug. You ever see the worst
thug,
criminal?
by the way.
Yeah, the worst criminals ever, when they get in court and unfurl their little piece of paper and put their jacket on and start reading, of course they look like, nice guys, wise people. Some of the stuff is written by their lawyers, and it's just not the way it is. They get back out on the street, and they're back out on the street.
This Michael Daly is a guy who's terrified of black people. He's terrified of them. He'll see black guys, and this guy will immediately think they're criminals.
Yeah.
You can tell when somebody has such a soft, a completely unequal way of addressing black people. It's not a respect thing. It's a terror of the entire race.
Right.
And like, hey, look, I'm the white guy that gets it. I'm the white guy that likes you. Like if there's a race riot, they're going to go, that guy writes good stuff. Don't hurt him and his family. That's what that's about. And he actually said at the end of Glenn Moore's statement, his next and last words were not ones of racism. In answer to racism, hate in response to hate, he instead ended by voicing a single wish. Did he voice a single wish, Michael? What did he wish for? More white people like you in the world? More white people who just hug blacks and pat their heads because they're not equal? Is that what they wish for?
What did he wish for?
I think Oprah already read it. It actually got me a little choked up. I don't know if I can get through it.
Yeah.
I sympathize with your ignorance, and I just hope that one day you could take full responsibility for your actions and learn from them. That's all I ask for. I'm done. Which is really words of wisdom. I hope you learned. Well, that more, kid.
That'll teach you.
Yeah.
And you know that Fat Nick goes out with a Hispanic?
It's
so that kind of messes up that whole racist thing.
How dumb we are in this city.
And he's like a dopey wigger. Drives around with hip-hop music and gold chains and a big Escalade. It's like...
But they ignored all that in the case.